Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And I did my Dr. Oakley School vlog, looking back at my time that I was at Dr. Oakley and how I feel it was special at that time, looking back at my time there and my educational journey. But one thing I touched upon that I think I'll tie this in with my Marda Loop video is that we're looking at the former Currie Barracks, where the military base used to be. Is no longer used, but you can see evidence of that with this building here. You can pan around that there's still references to the old military base and the names like Richard Road, Flanders Avenue. But this whole area here has currently been redeveloped to be a more of a mixed-use area. And right here I saw people training, and it's a CrossFit, which is kind of fitting. Different kind of training, but that's where, also going back to my time at Dr. Oakley, it's right along Crowchild Trail, one of the busiest runways through, or the roadways through Calgary. But over the hill here, I think I'll do it on another time because you can't go to the museum. That's where the military museums are. But yeah, you can see this is all the old Currie Barracks, and I'm gonna walk back towards 20th Street where the Dr. Oakley School is, and I gotta have some ice cream at my favorite ice cream shop. But I'll show you another area that has changed and makes references to the old Canadian Forces base. So I'll see you there. I'm back at the roundabout in the Garrison Woods area. You can take a look at this plaque here. It talks about John McCrae. You know, that poem about in Flanders Fields, it talks about that right there. You always hear that poem during Remembrance Day ceremonies. But this whole area near Dr. Oakley High School, where I attended starting 30 years ago, really has changed. And right here you see these names that makes references to wartime. But walk up to this roundabout right here. It talks about the history of this area. As this whole area is the Currie Barracks, as it talks about what units and divisions were based right in this area. And it really just shows the significance. I can almost wonder what it's like for those who weren't familiar from Calgary or wasn't born before my time. They realized that in this area, right where I'm standing, it's a military base. It used to be right here, and I was kind of on that tail end of that, because I do remember all this military base being right here. I'm just in the middle of a roundabout, but I mean, you can see this playground right here, and this whole community has changed, and it kind of has that old vintage aesthetics, as I like to say, but this kind of has that, you know, village feel to it. And that's another thing I've seen at Marda Loop. But you know, you can see this roundabout right here that talks about what used to be right here. And it just being that I've been born and raised here in Calgary all my life, and the fact that I spent 3 school years nearby here, I'm just stunned that it's definitely not the same place. The school is still the same, but all this area has changed. So I'm just going to take a little break, and then I'm going to have some ice cream, just like I did once in a while at my favorite ice cream shop. That's near Dr. Oakley, and walk around Marda Loop and just reflect on how much has changed. But there's a few areas that still remain the same that I still remember, or at least I still remember the building. So I'll see you there. back and just enjoyed my ice cream at my favorite ice cream shop just south of Dr. Oakley School. It's definitely the treat for students. I remember back in the day, there was traffic going by. But I sorry I took a picture of that mural, but you can see still has that old sign right there, and it says it's been here since 1981, and it's been open for about an hour for the day, and it's definitely still well attended. Inside, I know that inside the ice cream shop still had some vintage merchandise like Pepsi bottles, Coke bottles, and some historical articles. And yeah, I did remember seeing a piano in there, and with COVID right now it's not time to gather, but I wonder if they still have that promotion where if you played 3 songs you get a free scoop of ice cream. And I do remember back when I went to Dr. Oakley that there was one guy that was really playing the piano, and he was playing it well, and I think he declined the free ice cream because he just wanted to play the piano. So that was an interesting story. But still, it's just look around here. I mean, the ice cream shop is still the same, but all this has changed, and all this new development, and the Canadian Forces base is gone. So that's just my quick look at the ice cream shop right here. It's still here, corner of 20th Street Southwest and 42nd Avenue, and it's a favorite. So I'll continue on to Marda. Well, I'm back after enjoying my ice cream at my favorite ice cream shop. Well, this is the community of Marda Loop, or the shopping district. This is one of the only few things that I remember, because I'm on, just behind me is Crochat Trail, and this is 33rd Avenue Southwest. As we're approaching east, it's 20th Street where the turnoff is to get to Dr. Oakley School. But I do remember at least this still being here, this gateway, and it mentions on the sign as I'll lock up, but none of these condos and that were here, and you can see it's all fairly new, last couple of years, and none of this was here when I was being bused to go to Dr. Oakley. But you can see right here, here's some Calgary history, the South Calgary Loop, historic streetcar loop. So I'm gonna say this was a hub for streetcars, and I believe at one time this, because right behind here was where the Currie Barracks is, or you could say the former CFB, the Canadian Forces base. I think that used to be like the south end of the city at one time, and now it's nearby Mount Royal University. Or back when I was going to Dr. Oakley, it was considered a college. It felt like a university when I was walking in there. I know that one of the things we did was Reader's Theatre that we presented at Mount Royal, and it was kind of exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time sometimes. But just going to walk down 33rd Avenue here, and I'll stop at this part because it's not as much interesting. I mean, there's a few businesses I do remember, but this is how it looks now. It's just it's not the same. As you can see, that gateway there, that's Crochat Trail, 33rd Avenue, but none of this was here 30 years ago when I regularly was coming here for Dr. Oakley on the bus. So I'll meet up near the main intersection where we turn to at 20th Street. Well, how about this? How about this for some history, as I meant to say. I'm in Garrison Woods, just south of 33rd Avenue, and this is kind of just a detour that I'm in front of the Safeway at Garrison Woods, and I was like, ooh, some history. And so walking around, I mean, I took some pictures at this whole area. It doesn't feel like I'm in Calgary. It just feels like I'm in some European village, and definitely all this was not here when I was going to Dr. Oakley School starting 30 years ago. But let's bring up and go over this history. Is Garrison Woods Legacy Park, you can see, kind of the map. I mean, the school, Dr. Oakley School, actually is right here. There's 20th Street. But you can kind of see that whole area and just show how it's all changed. I mean, there's the military museums and all these housing developments, but let's get to the literature. The Garrison Woods Legacy Walk. This area, now known as Garrison Woods, was originally developed between 1948 and 1952 as a housing district for married personnel stationed at the nearby Currie Barracks. The Currie Permanent Married Quarters, PMQs, were developed in the context of post-Second World War housing shortage in the city and the new Department of National Defense policy to provide residential housing for married personnel and their families. This complex included nearly 600 homes, a community center, recreational facilities, schools, and chapels. Streets were named after First World War honors of 3 regiments that were being stationed in Calgary: Lord Strathcona's Horse, Royal Canadians, Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry, and the Canadian Owen Rifles of Canada. After the closure of the Canadian Forces Base in Calgary in 1997, the Currie PMQs were transferred to a now residential neighborhood of Garrison Woods. Many of the original street names were retrained and interpreted panels along the boulevards of Garrison Woods to tell the story of the battles of the streets are named. The map to your left, which I just showed, the route of Garrison Woods Legacy Walk, the museum of the regiments located in the southwest corner of Garrison Woods, tells the complete story of Calgary's military heritage. And I say, when I was going to Dr. Oakley, this was kind of the tail end of the Currie Barracks when it was used as a military base, and you could see some of that right there. And I mean, got exposed to obviously the history and seeing live action soldiers train. I remember being bused to school and heading to the museum of the regiments, every Remembrance Day, and that's all I guess you can say part of the educational process. But I mean, I'm just blown away just how much this whole area has changed. You definitely see the references to all the lore. You can see some of these maple leaves right here if you're familiar with Calgary. I mean, Crowchild Trail and 20th Street kind of separates the whole area. But yeah, you can see some of those maple leaves. I mean, especially those housing areas that were right behind Dr. Oakley. That's all changed and makes references to all these names. And I guess, yeah, that was Flanders Park that I was walking in. That was right near the ice cream store, my favorite ice cream shop, and walked near where the saw the military bases. But the museum of regiments, that would be something I would do another time. I can't go outside the museum right now anyway due to COVID, but I remember going there every year while I was at Dr. Oakley around to Remembrance Day. But this is a very, very interesting history and brings back the wartime, and I'll just have to bring it up, for newer Calgarians, or especially kids born now going to this area. I wonder what it's like when they realize all the history that was here. But I was at the tail end of it, and that's also kind of been part of my educational journey. So I'll not talk about this. I'll show more about Marda Loop and how much has changed. But I'll go back out. I'll take a pit stop at Safeway anyway, and I just saw this. But I just marvel at this Calgary history and how much the city has changed. I've been here all my life and don't spend as much time in this part of the city, but I'm rediscovering Calgary at the same time I'm doing this, logging on the go. Well, the beauty of logging on the go is sometimes you take a little detour, and I wanted to take a little detour to take a little pit stop and cool off my feet. But just off of 33rd Avenue, all this in the Garrison Woods, just near the Garrison Woods Shopping Center. This is all nice and new, and this feels like a small European village, as I would say. Just seeing all these shops, and you can see on these window sills that kind of has that French style where you open up the door and you have the ledge right there. But this is all new compared to when I was going to Dr. Oakley. But just had some traffic to deal with. But I just was amazed. I'm kind of rediscovering this part of the city, Marda Loop, or they call this community Garrison Woods. And it's just a nice little dense village that you see right here. I mean, all this definitely looks like the kind of a European village, but I'm gonna walk towards this other building right here where you kind of see makes use of shops and businesses. I think that distilled, I'm sure those lights light up during the night hours. But Garrison Woods, this feels like I'm taken away from a different part of Calgary, or this doesn't feel like I'm in Calgary with this architecture and all these interesting local shops right here. But this definitely was not here when I started going to Dr. Oakley 30 years ago. So I'm just going to continue working my way down Marda Loop, and there's one business I'm definitely going to have to check out. It's nearby for obvious reasons, so I'll see you there. Now, what could possibly bring me here? As the runner goes by, just read the sign. Our Daily Bread Cafe and Market. Well, of course I have to stop by here, and as I found out, this is just a cafe shop, just a variety food market. What I ultimately had when I just took a pit stop here for obvious reasons, because it's got my name on it, can't dispute that. See it right there in the sign, Daily Bread. But I just had a Jarritos Mexican Cola. And definitely, you can tell it's imported. You can see, he even says on the States where you can't recycle, but it was much, much, much sweeter than a Coke or Pepsi. But I just wanted something quick, and while I'm waiting for the next bus, but you can tell by that graphic there, I saw some postcards of that drawing, but it's on the corner of 14th Street and 29th Avenue Southwest in kind of the Bankview area. But yeah, for obvious reasons, I had to come here. It's got my name on it, but the other, it was too busy on 20th Street and 33rd Avenue when I was wanting to check out that main intersection. I took a couple pictures just to show how much has changed since when I went back to my Dr. Oakley days, but it was a combination. There was just too much traffic to record a video, and I was right up against the bus schedule for capturing the bus. But yeah, what do you think? This cafe has my name on it. One thing I didn't thought of, but I was hoping to maybe just have a cold beer, and damn COVID, due to COVID, I couldn't have a beer because I can't consume it on the patio because patios aren't open. So that's why I bought the Jarritos Sweet Cola. But yeah, for obvious reasons, I have to stop here. It's got my name on it.